Check this out, guys. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. Well, howdy folks, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. Hey guys, on this episode we're going to be making a wonderful smoked bird and a baked fennel. Now this is going to be delicious. Wait till you try it. I was thinking, what do I want to do for the holidays? I'm tired of the same old stuff, the same turkey, the same ham. Guess what, you know, after a couple of decades that gets really boring, all right? So let's do something special and new. Now, if you're way up north and you're kind of snowed in while you're seeing this, and you're thinking, I don't really want to get out to the gas grill. Guy, look, you're only going to be out there a couple of times. Set it up and let it do its smoking. You don't have to be out there with it. So don't be afraid of this. This is going to be fun. We're going to be smoking on a gas grill, and I'm going to teach you how to cook up some fennel. Oh, this is going to be a wonderful combination, guys. And when you try it, you're going to be surprised. So I'll tell you what, let's get in the kitchen and let's get busy cooking up a wonderful holiday meal. Come on. Hey guys, I'd like to say happy holidays to you. Now, we got some wonderful stuff over here. Great ingredients. We're going to be making this wonderful smoked bird. This isn't hard to do. You can do it on any grill that has control over different stations within the grill. Let me explain. For instance, a 2, 3, or 4 burner grill works great on a gas grill. And that way you can localize your heat to one side and the food to the other, and you get great smoking effect, okay? That's how that works. If you have an electric, that will work too, providing it has different heat stations. Also, you can do this with charcoal. Put your charcoal over to one side, your heat source there, and your meat over to the other, and just keep the temperature low on it. And it works, guys. It works great. Don't be afraid of trying smoking your meat before you finish it off in the oven. And that's what we're going to do today. In addition, I want to show you how to truss these wonderful birds up. You're going to need 2 pieces of string. We're going to truss them up just right. I want to teach you how to use a mop, and we're going to be cooking up these little gemstones. Something to go with it. A wonderful, delicious vegetable. If you've never done this for the holidays, well, go out and buy one real quick. Cook this recipe, give it a try, and I bet it's going to be on your holiday table. So guys, wonderful goodies, a great, healthy meal, something that's different for the holidays. Come on, let's look at this stuff. Well now guys, what I have here, a couple of Cornish hens. So if you're cooking for a family and you want some adult portions and some kid portions, remember your Cornish hens come in 2 sizes. These are the adult size. They make one that's about, they grow one that's a bit smaller than this. Like I said, it's about 1/3 smaller, and it's great for kids. So you can do them at the same time, and it's wonderful. We're going to be cooking these up, like I said, with some smoke, and I'm going to be using some nice, thick, wonderful mesquite chips. That makes for some very, very good tasting bird. I'm going to teach you how to truss those, and we're also going to be using a mop on it, and that's what these ingredients over here are. I've got a couple of different oils out there, only to make it clear that you can use any oil you want. Any kind of vegetable oil, corn oil, if you want to use canola, that's fine, peanut oil, olive oil, blends of oils, does not matter, folks. Just use some oil that's good for cooking. Use some vinegar, and the proportions are simple. We're going to go 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, and then we're going to match it with an equal amount or a proportionately correct amount in paprika. And here's your recipe on this. To 1/2 cup of oil, 1/4 cup of vinegar, you're going to want 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Okay, it's just that simple. So half teaspoon, quarter cup, half cup. Some salt in that, and again, quarter to half teaspoon works great. Down here, a wonderful vegetable. This is called fennel, and every bit of this bulb is edible, guys, and it's really good stuff. The leaves you can put in salads, and they're delicious, all right? These stalks, thin slice them, put them in stews, in soups. They will really jazz up your food. And this bulb down here, that's the part I'm going for today. It is my favorite part, and I love this vegetable just for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. I'm going to show you how to prepare it, and we're going to bake it up in the oven. So this is an easy to prepare item for your holidays. It's really going to add to it, and you're going to be surprised at how good all of this comes out. Now, I'm not going to leave the birds out on the grill long enough to cook them all the way through. Guys, we're only looking to smoke them. They don't have to be out there all day, okay? We're going to finish them off in the oven. This works out pretty quick. It doesn't take a long time. Now let's get busy trussing the birds and getting them ready to go out on the heat. Okay guys, we're going to get busy fixing these things up. Now first thing I'm going to do, I like to just have a quick way to clean myself up. So I like to glove up when I do this stuff. Now guys, I'm going to do something here that might hurt the feelings of a few people. Most folks, including myself, like the skin on the bird, okay? We like to batter it and fry it with skin on because, man, it gives a lot of flavor and it's really good. But this particular type of cooking, it's not so good for it, okay? And you might be thinking, well, hold it, that skin's going to lock in moisture. Well, actually, that's what we're using the mop for. And we're going to remove the skin for the sole purpose of getting the nitrates and nitrites that come from that smoke in contact with the meat. Because when that's happening, the flavor's in contact with the meat, and we're going to develop a wonderful tasting bird. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a nice sharp knife, run it right up under that skin, right up to the neck, okay? Just do that on all of your birds. This just makes it a little easier to pull off. Okay, I've exposed the breasts. Now, something that makes removing skin a little easier, get yourself a paper towel. Sometimes there's a membrane under there. Just run your thumb underneath it, and it'll break it loose. See there? I'm going to pull that free. I'm going to pull it free from the bottom of the breast, and we're going to pull it down that leg. I'm going to do that on each side of each bird. This fat that's left up in here, just leave it. That's a very good thing to have in there. I'm going to flip him over. We have a little more skin back here. Not hard to get to. The skin on the wings, guys, I usually leave on there. So one bird, he looks kind of rough, but he's ready. Okay, like I said, these bits of fat that hang, that's fine. We're going to just tuck them right up inside, and they're actually a benefit. Okay, now you'll notice how the bird is all splayed open. He's kind of sad looking. Well, that's where we're going to use our twine, and we're going to truss that bird up real nice and pretty. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Now guys, once again, because of all that moisture, I'm going to go ahead and dry my birds again, okay? And I recommend you do the same thing. It makes handling them a whole lot easier, all right? The way where I'm going to show you how to truss these birds up will make them look very elegant once they hit the plate. And they will hold their shape after you cut that string loose once they're cooked. Now guys, when you're doing this, you're going to need some cooking twine. This is very simple cotton string is all it is. Now to do this, it's so simple. I want to take the very center of this string, so you pull your two ends together, and tie it around one leg, okay? This works on pretty much any bird, okay? This is my favorite method to truss. I think it's one of the easiest in the world. See, I've only tied that once. You don't have to double knot it, okay? This side will double knot. So, sometimes he slips loose, so sometimes I'll make my loop first, just like that. You can put your leg through that loop after that, just like so, and pull them tight, just like this. Now I'm going to double loop that to finish the knot. The two ends on my string, that's what finishes all of this up. It's going to pull these loose legs into place. It's going to hold the wings in place and make it look really nice. And this is, like I said, so simple. One of the strings we pass in between the leg and the breast on one side, and the same thing on the other side, and over the wings, over the top of that wing. See there? Now I'm going to take my bird and turn him over. We'll pull these. Now what happens is when I pull this string up, those legs just got pulled up under there. Okay, so I'll pull it up first, and then I knot it behind the bird, just like that. If you wish, you can cut that loose. You don't have to. I do it just to clean it up. Now guys, if you look, that wingtip is sticking out, tuck them behind. Boom, boom. You're done. See how the legs are pulled up? Let me tuck any fat up into the body cavity there. Okay, so this is going to cook beautiful and neat and elegant. And the beautiful part here, guys, once it's cooked up, it's just a gorgeous bird. And you saw what I did here? You can tuck the tip of that breast under, or you can pull him up and have the legs under. Take your pick. It's your choice, okay? If you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to sit there and do that on 6 birds. Guess what, guys? That wasn't that much work. Okay, it was a very small amount. Okay, each string between the leg and the breast, and then we pull them together. So see how that pulls his wings up? Like that. But first, I pull this way, that draws those legs in place, and then I tie the wings off. It's actually a move in collegiate wrestling. We call that chicken winging, where you pull their arms back. There we go. My birds are set up and ready to be smoked. Now look at that. See how clean they look? How well dressed they look? And once they're cooked, that is elegance on a plate. And guys, over the years, I've always shown you to use a broiling pan when you're doing this, and I wanted to show just a different way. So today we're going to be using a Pyrex dish with a simple pan rack in the bottom of it. That raises my birds up off the bottom, allows me to have moisture underneath them, and they will smoke up beautifully on it. See how that trussing makes handling that bird really easy? Okay? It's just the best way to do it, guys. Guys, I am down here with my grill. Now if you'll notice, I have this out, which is called a smoker's tray. If you don't have one of these little gemstones, all you need is a pack of foil. Just lay out some foil, put your wood on top of the foil, then fold it up, okay, so that it's closed. Poke some holes in it so that the smoke can come out, and you've got your own homemade smoker tray, okay? A piece of foil works just as good. Now guys, when you're cooking on your multiple burner grill, go ahead and get that smoker tray set up. And I'm going to be using this left burner. It's going to be the only one that's running, and my smoker tray will be sitting over it. I can do it that way, or I can also take this guy and run it across the back. And sometimes I do it that way more often than this way. So fix yours up however you'd like and get ready to smoke. I'm going to be putting my pan over on the other side of this so that it won't be getting direct heat. Remember, low heat, keep the smoke wispy and blue. Guys, I've already gone ahead and placed a little over ½ cup of oil in here and ¼ cup of vinegar. And vinegar, of course, is on bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over a low heat, and I'm going to bring it up and simmer it for just a little bit. Now, I don't really expect a lot of combining going on here. Some will happen, but what is really going to be happening is cooking off my spices. So remember, I said about ¼ to ½ a teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of our paprika. Now, I love paprika in mine, and if you find that half isn't enough for you, go ahead and use a little bit more. There we go. Bring this up in a simmer. cook off these spices. And then I can use a mop or a basting brush to put this over my meat as I'm smoking it. Guys, the only reason we do this, the only reason I use a mop is to protect the moisture in the chicken. I'm going to have the chicken out there in some smoke for anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2 hours, okay? And I don't want that meat drying out. I use something like this that has a couple of different neat qualities. Number one, the oil coats the chicken, keeps moisture locked in, and it works like a charm. The second thing is it allows the smoke to penetrate the meat. The skin would have blocked it, where this allows penetration. And then the other thing is there's that vinegar in there, and that vinegar helps to break any crust that might be building on the outside of the meat that would prevent good smoke penetration, or that might cause the beginnings of drying out. We don't want that. I like to use the paprika because it adds a nice warm tone to the outside of the meat. It's great. Bring that up to a boil. Once that happens, I'll simmer it for about 15 minutes and it's ready to be used. You see, guys, that right there, that's what I'm talking about. Just a nice little simmer. When it's done after 15 minutes, well, it's done. Before you put your chicken down into the smoke, remember we had a dish for the sole purpose of putting some moisture in the bottom of it and had our birds brought up. Now I want to say one thing. If you're going to use a Pyrex dish for this, like I'm doing here, the water that goes in the bottom needs to be good and hot. It doesn't have to be boiling hot, but as hot comes out of your tap will be more than sufficient. The idea here, guys, I don't want too much temperature differential between what's going on in the bottom of this pan and what's going on out there where I'm about to smoke these birds, okay? So if my water is already hot when it goes in there, then it gives it a little bit of a boost, okay? That water's only there to keep the birds moist as it smokes. Okay, guys, now we are ready to do our fennel. The thing to remember about this is the whole thing is usable, but if you'll notice, see how it kind of grows in an arc here? So when I cut this, I'm going to cut one cut here and the other over here to get it nice and even. And this stuff is very fibrous, okay? So be prepared. It's going to be a little bit firm to cut, all right? There we go. One bulb is freed up from its stalks. I'll just do that to the other. There we go. Now I'm going to bag these up, put them back in the fridge because they're still good, guys. Earlier, I washed these bulbs really nice. This is a little bit of, just basically oxidization on the outside of the bulb. You want to look for bulbs that have as little of that as possible. The bottoms will be calloused and sometimes brown, and I'm going to remove part of that. But what I want to do first is to split it straight down the middle. So what I'm going to do is right in this direction, and watch those fingers. Keep them on top. Keep them curled under so that the blade doesn't get to you. There we go. Now, once I have it like that, it makes removing that bottom a little bit easier. I like doing this way because it provides a beautiful, healthy portion. And by the way, everything up in this, guys, once it's fully cooked, this core here, all of this becomes fully edible, okay? So it's just a matter of slow cooking it. Now the bottom callus, I don't want to chop off too much, just enough to remove it, that's all. So if those leaves come loose, don't worry about it, just set them right back up on top. It's going to bake up fine, all right? Okay guys, let's get this into a baking dish so it can get cooked up. What I want to do is I just want to place all of these into the bottom of a single dish, and they're all going to bake up together. It'll be just fine. Any kind of dish that's oven proof is perfect for this. You just need something with high sides. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle this with olive oil over the top, and I'm going to put some grated cheese on it, some Parmesan cheese. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 to 400 degrees until it becomes fork tender. Now what's fork tender? Where you stick your fork or a toothpick in it and it slides out easily. That's fork tender. Do not cook this open cover, guys, because your fennel will dry out before it gets tender. Okay guys, we have our smoke gently releasing temperature in this is around 260, 270. Here's my mop. Just gently baste that over your birds. And you only have to do this about once every 30 minutes as you check your fire to make sure there's plenty of smoke. Make sure you don't need to replace your wood chips, which you'll have to do about once every hour or so. It's very smooth, guys, very simple. Now that right there is its first coat of protection. Don't worry about the salting because it's already built into the mop. Hey guys, it's time to get this ready to go down in the oven. So, as I mentioned earlier, some olive oil. Now you can also use some butter on top of these. If you'd like to put a couple of pats of butter up on top of these, guys, it tastes really good done that way. I like doing just the olive oil, and then I take some Parmesan cheese and just spread it out across the top of that. That sharp flavor will cook right down in there. And that wasn't that much. That was about, oh, maybe a quarter of a cup or a little more of grated Parmesan cheese. This is ready to go down in the oven, 350 degrees. Okay guys, down in the oven it goes. There it is, guys, down in the oven, 350 degrees, and we just have to give it time. Now normally this takes around 45 minutes to an hour to cook, normally. All right, it's going to vary at different altitudes and stuff like that, guys, so be patient with it. Remember, we're going to make it fork tender. This is a good one. Okay guys, our birds have just come in from being smoked. I'm going to put them in the oven and finish them off. Alright guys, there we go. It's going to be 350 degrees. We're going to cook that until I can insert a thermometer and get a temperature in the neighborhood of about 170 degrees. And when I put my thermometer in there, I want it between the leg and the breast, okay? So I can get it in that heavy, dense area that's the hardest to heat. So since that's the last spot to get hot, we have to test it. In the meantime, I'm just going to give it a little time. It needs about 30 minutes. We're going to be testing our fennel at the exact same time. So guys, we have a beautiful meal coming along. Okay guys, I've just pulled this out of the oven. It was about an hour and 10 minutes. Now, look at that. See how the fork slides out of them? Okay, that's what I'm talking about by fork tender. Comes out easy, all right? Back here, these are cooked to 170 degrees. So as you can see, it's a very, very easy thing to make, guys. A wonderful, wonderful side dish to go with any special meal. Give this a try, you're going to love it. Now, I'm just going to set that aside and keep it warm. Now I'm going to make another side for this, something quick and easy, and then I'll get it all plated up. I just want to put something else on this that would be nice. A little color, a little flavor, and some elegance. So, here I have some Kalamata. So I'm just going to pan sear some Kalamata olives and some halved grape tomatoes. Apple cider vinegar. Just a little bit. A couple of teaspoons. There we go. That is ready. I just need a bird on my plate and then I can start working on the rest of it. There we go. On his little bed of green. Now let's get some of that fennel. This has been a long time favorite vegetable of mine. I love fennel. Okay. Right down in the very front here. Some of my tomatoes. Beautiful plating, ready to go, with one exception. We have a little string that we need to cut loose. And just cut it free from each leg. That's all you have to do. And from there it will slip out. Boy, I am looking forward to this dinner. Look at that gorgeous holiday meal, folks. That one is a true winner. Here it is, guys. absolutely gorgeous. Now, as I mentioned, something unique, something special, bit of Texas, bit of Mediterranean, all mixed together on a plate, nice and healthy. Okay, this is going to be a good one for you. Give this a try. I guarantee you're going to impress people at a low cost. Elegant, delicious, all built into one. Let's see here. See, pink up on the inside, normal, because that's the reaction from the nitrates and nitrites in the smoke, working with the myoglobin of the meat to preserve it. It's a wonderful thing. The fennel, as always, sweet. It's the first thing that hits you, sugary sweet. The rich flavor of it. Oh man, it's offset by the sugar, or the, excuse me, it's offset by that salt that is in the cheese, and it's magnificent. Salty and sweet on those tomatoes and the calamatas. Such a simple thing, guys. Don't be afraid of this one. Here's your fabulous holiday meal. You can show off. It's not too tough to do either, and it's really healthy. Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Texas Cooking Today. Thank you to my subscribers. I appreciate you guys so very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I have a lot of good shows coming out, some really good tasting stuff, and great techniques to go with it. Guys, you have a good day, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.